These days are running slow. Sunsets and shores far from home. Headlights are shining on the sea. No place on earth I'd rather be. And I could try to just follow the sweat, but I'll never find this anywhere. To all those places on the wall, and none come close to this, I'm sure. You try to say the sunrise the same, but tell me, have you ever danced in the rain? And I could try to just follow the sweat, but I'll never find this anywhere. Try to just follow the sweat, but I'll never find this anywhere.
I am not a raincoat here to keep you warm. Then go back in the closet after the storm. No, I'm not a match simply waiting to burn. All I am is a friend, your friend till the end. I'm not your impression of a city wish. You loved more than everything you gave for it. And I'm not here to criticize the risk. All I am is a friend, your friend till the end. All I am is a friend, your friend till the end. I am not a witness here to call you in for the things that you done or that thing that you did. And I'm not the shadow of anyone you've been. All I am is a friend, your friend till the end.